Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to OLC TV for some more Total War 3 Kingdoms, the new Fates Divided DLC. A big thank you to CA for giving me early access. Now, today in our faction preview series, we are having a look at Sun Tzu. Now, this game starts in 200 CE, so we are literally in the last few moments of Sun Tzu's historical life, just before he is killed by the remnants of Xu Gong's followers, and is replaced by Sun Quan. So he is pretty much at the zenith of his power as well. He should be almost unmatched in the southeast. He is still the little conqueror who's focused on characters and expansion. He has his speed, he has his ambitions, his unique ministerial positions and faction effects and unique court action. Nothing has changed from previous DLC. He has, of course, his Tiger Guards, his Handmaid Guards, who are incredible at keeping him alive. The Mercenary Archers, Mercenary Axes, and Mercenary Cavalry, and, of course, Mercenary Outposts that you would expect. And as far as characters go, as you can see, he has Zhou Yu, Huanggai, Chengpu, Sun Quan, and many, many more, I should say, in his court. He has a pretty solid court, because, of course, he has all the benefits that he got from the previous DLCs, where you got the two Zhangs, for example, in the court as well. Xiao Xiao Da Qiao, of course, have been married to Zhou Yu and Sun Tzu for a while, so he has a really, really good court. I don't think I need to go into too much detail about who all of these guys are, because I've covered them before, but just very briefly, Zhou Yu, of course, is a top-tier strategist. He's quite a fighty strategist in the game as well, but historically speaking, he was one of the great minds, one of the great military strategists of the era, and responsible for Cao Cao's defeat at Chebi. It was his strategies in place, alongside Chengpu, who was joint leader of the army, though, frankly, like the strategic side of it was almost certainly down to Zhou Yu. And don't believe the romance that Zhuge Liang had that big an effect in that battle. This was a battle that was primarily fought by Wu, with Liu Bei's forces doing minor actions rather than actually taking the majority of the fight to Cao Cao. So Zhou Yu was the mastermind behind that. We have Huanggai, immensely loyal, who has fought alongside Sun Tzu's father from very, very early on, and has risen through the ranks to become a senior commander. Chengpu again, who has risen through the ranks, having fought alongside Sun Tzu's father since almost the beginning of his career. Chengpu is now an old man, and is joint head of the army alongside Zhou Yu. There is another Han Dang, who is not shown here because he doesn't have a legendary portrait. He is the third of the three. Huanggai, Chengpu, and Han Dang were the first starting generals you got as Sun Jian in the game. Han Dang, of course, was the mercenary commander who was persuaded to join Sun Jian and stayed loyal throughout his career. Very good friend of Huanggai's. Sun Quan, of course, is younger brother of Sun Tzu. He's here and he will eventually take over after Sun Tzu dies if you play it historically. Sun Tzu is still fiery, arrogant and brave. He has incredible cavalry smash. Established order is halved and 15% melee damage for shock cavalry. While Cao Cao and Yuan Shao ready their forces, Sun Tzu is poised to unify the south. With Yuan Shu gone, Sun Tzu is able to step out from his oppressive shadow and finally chase the same glory and unity as his father. Sun Tzu continues to look to build on his southern successes while keeping an eye on any who might threaten his people. I think this is slightly unfair and actually misleading to the truth of what was going on. Sun Tzu was a nominal vassal of Cao Cao. When Yuan Shu had declared himself emperor, Sun Tzu had distanced himself from Yuan Shu and sworn allegiance to the emperor and therefore to Cao Cao as well. However, that did not mean that he was actually operating in any way, shape or form like a vassal would. He was doing his own thing down south. Cao Cao had other problems. He couldn't really stop him. But he did nominally send tribute. He did nominally allow his people to go back when and where needed. However, at the same time, Yuan Shu's family did flee to Sun Tzu's court and were treated extremely well. The family of Yuan Shu and the family of Sun Jian were very, very close indeed, and continued to be so even after the deaths of the two patriarchs, Yuan Shu and Sun Jian. So to say that he was finally able to step up to the oppressive shadow, it wasn't really an oppressive shadow. He did his own thing anyway. Yes, there was some manipulation involved, and Yuan Shu was definitely not the best lord, but their relationship was much closer than this would seem. Anyway, let's have a look at the map. So as you can see, we have a decent chunk of territory down here. Now we have some vassals, and I'm going to explain what their role is when we enter the game. We have a few remaining problems, as you can see, just down in this corner here. And then Chendong, who is the ally of Cao Cao, has eyes on expansion towards you as well, which I think is overblowing a minor historical problem, but does add to the challenge of the game. Over here we have Lu Biao, who is not particularly enamored with us, of course. Him being the one, well, his troops being the ones that killed Sun Ce's father. So of course there is warfare going on there, and that will continue for a good few years. But Lu Biao is quite the power. Sun Ce is a growing power. That is the current situation. Right, let's get into the game.
时势造英雄。然，英雄与奸雄，仅一线之隔。纵是天纵之才，孤掌亦将难鸣，只可为一时之杰。人尽适则，自然之理。但智者当知晓，何时应搁置野心，共图大业。弱肉强食尽，分道扬镳时。生死存亡之局拉开帷幕，终焉之战，唯有一人能笑到最后。主公，您已将江东大片领地收入囊中，但要做的事还很多，前路上还有诸多阻碍。主公的好几位老对手，包括严白虎，都投奔至许昭的阵营，他们会继续与您作对。这一次，我们务必要斩草除根。大江对岸的陈登，早已对主公的领土虎视眈眈。他是横亘在您和江东一统之间的障碍，同样不容忽视。曹操和袁绍忙于争夺北方，胜者将一家独大，所向披靡。在我们的腹地，刘表一直是您称霸江东的绊脚石，您必须将他彻底驱逐出境，才能安心积聚兵力，与北方崛起的几股势力分庭抗礼。刘繇的故地落在了华歆的手中，无论用口舌还是刀剑，必须将他拿下，才能将整座江东收入囊中。主公，请您谋而后动，孙家的命运就掌握在您的手上。
Okay, so here we are. We are challenge issued, prepared to strike. Preparedness in such times cannot be overlooked. A strong force will be needed to mount an offensive against Lu Biao and Hua Xin. Okay, we need forces, and we need to defeat Hua Xin's forces. This is pretty much our first effort. With each successive victory against your enemy, you gain ever-growing momentum. Strike fast and put Hua Xin in his place. And somber omens. You awake from a tumultuous dream. In it, you experience death over and over in myriad ways. The more you run from it, the more intensely it comes for you. Would this be a sign of sealed fate? In which case, should you rebel against it? Now, our luck is running out badly. And we are very, very close to death. We can, of course, overcome this, but this is extremely challenging at this stage. And I'm not going to teach you how to do this in this preview, because it's not a new mechanic. However, that's the situation. Historically, he would die. He would die to some bandits sort of over here-ish area, some of Xu Gong's former troops. Xu Jiao is still an enemy. He is still alive here. He is harboring the remnants of the alliance that stood against Sun Ce. That should include the likes of the White Tiger Yan Baihu as well in these forces. Chen Dong, who is former officer of many people, now an ally of Cao Cao, is here. He is looking to expand down here. Now, historically, Chen Dong doesn't have many years left to live either. So any efforts they had from minor border disagreements, frankly, which the game has overblown to a full-scale war, he's not something to worry about, and he has other problems because there's Liu Bei to his north. In here we have Wu Jing, who is our uncle. He is a vassal, and a loyal and good vassal at that. Up here we have Li Shu. Li Shu, of course, is a vassal, as I would have noted in the Cao Cao preview. However, he will invoke the ire of Cao Cao historically and then be crushed by Sun Quan, because this would happen very, very soon, historically. Very, very soon. This year, 200, a lot happens. A lot of people die. A lot of chaos happens. Now, Hua Xin is over here. Hua Xin is interesting. The game has him out as this big bad for Sun Ce at this start date. But historically, after Liu Yao died, Liu Yao's followers tried to petition Hua Xin to take over, because Hua Xin was reported, and actually was factually, a man of great talent. However, Hua Xin did not want to take over. I guess he saw the prevailing wind and actually refused, only remaining to rule the land that he previously had ruled in the area. Sun Ce then came in and demanded his surrender, which he gave readily. As soon as he surrendered, Sun Ce could turn his attention to clearing up this mess over here, which he did. Basically is what happened. After Sun Ce's death, when Sun Quan took over, Cao Cao requested that Hua Xin, who had maintained control of territory down here, be redeployed to the court, and where Sun Quan, again as a vassal, said, yeah, of course. I mean, Sun Quan didn't exactly have that much say in it, even though he had a certain level of independence down in the south. And Hua Xin would stay there and be loyal to Cao Cao, and eventually replace Xun Yu as director of the Imperial Court Secretariat. And then eventually would go on to become one of the excellencies under Cao Pi, being one of the ministers that would advise Cao Pi, they beg Cao Pi to become emperor and depose the Han Emperor. So he's quite an important figure. This war never happened. He rolled over before it would happen, and historically he's an important man. He's a very important man. Before we go to the fighting, let's have a quick look here who we have. Now, like I said, we have Chongpu. We also have Han Dang, who is... I mean, all these guys are so upset, but they really shouldn't be. They're only upset because of court positions. He's a loyal mercenary. He's a brave, sincere, distinguished. He's very, very good. Give him a weapon. He has no problems. But of course, the AI does like to fill out the bottom here, which a Vanguard just never needs these. Go across the top. Go for scare. Go for hitting people harder. We have Zhang Hong, who came in a couple of patches ago. Enigmatic, loyal, friendly. One guy, Zhou Tai, of course, the person who would become the bodyguard of Sun Quan. Extremely good. Give him a weapon. Extremely good. Lu Meng, who would take over from Lu... where is he? Do we have him here? No, we do not have Lu Su here. That's interesting. I thought we did. I must have misread Lu Fan when I was checking it out. So basically, when Zhou Yu dies, Lu Su takes over, and then Lu Meng takes over after. He's a very talented military strategist in his own right. And also, quite interesting for him, he rose through the ranks very quickly, because when Sun Ce was launching an inspection of troops, Lu Meng's troops were the only ones who were actually in uniform, which gives you an idea of the quality of the troops that Wu had at the stage when Sun Quan had just taken over. So this year, basically, and that's when Lu Meng starts to get promoted. We have Xiao Qiao, of course, the wife of Zhou Yu. We have Yu Fan, who is a loyal, if difficult advisor. Lu Fan, as well, who is a extremely loyal advisor. Sun Quan, the heir, Zhu Zhi, who would go on to fight in a lot of battles, actually, go and help against bandits and not nomads, tribes in this area for a good chunk of his career. Jiang Qin, who's another officer at this time. Jiang Zhao, another diplomat. Jiang Cheng, another diplomat. Tai Shi, this incredible, talented fighter who had actually dueled Sun Ce, and the two of them had almost killed each other before they ended up working together. Da Qiao, of course, who's Sun Ce's wife, and Lady Wu, the matriarch of the family. So it's a really, really solid court, rivaled only by Cao Cao, I would say, though Liu Biao has a decent court himself. Now, as far as mechanics goes, you still have Legacy of Wu. So if you can secure these objectives, you will start to get more luck, and you need this because your luck is running out. I don't give you that much of a chance of doing it, but it is possible. We also have the new mechanic of Imperial Intrigue, where we can play this grand strategic diplomatic game, should we say, where you can upset other factions' relationships with the Emperor, which can then affect how other factions see them. So if you see here, we currently have 2+ satisfaction, 2+ diplomatic relations, and -2 corruption because of our satisfaction level. However, were we to drop, it would start to get into a negative, and it can get really, really bad. You can boost this in a number of ways through public order and surplus, and you can lose it quite simply by attacking armies that belong to Han factions, sacking, looting. There are also, as you can see here, diplomatic things you can do. If, for example, I was to increase favour here, it will cost me 5, but I'm going to get +15, which is going to put me up to 65 and boost everything quite nicely. This is quite a nice way in the early game of keeping some of your more disloyal and upset ministers happy with you in the short term, though it doesn't last forever. You can also get missions as well, as you see here, as the game goes on. It's quite nice. There we go, honeyed words, how magnificent. Now here, I need to make a correction, because when I was playing before, and I think still now, because we haven't had an update, I've encountered a bug whereby I can only pick one option, even if I have multiple ministers in the court. However, and I thought that was how the game was supposed to be played, which is slightly odd, but I didn't want to criticize things too much before any review embargoes or anything else are dropped. So actually I was wrong, and I have checked this against the A. A couple of people did comment in the comment section as well, and I did just want to double check. So actually each one of these ministers will give you 2 options, and you can choose one of any of the 2 options. So if you have 5 ministers, you still have 5 options you can choose, but you have a greater selection of options to choose from. So if, for example, I was to, let's just throw someone in here for the sake of it, Grand Tutor, here you go, you fan. Knock yourself out, buddy. So if we were to go to this, you see we have 2 options here. Now both of these will cost me 500 coins. Sometimes they don't cost you anything, sometimes you only get benefits for nothing, you know, lots of different things that will come with related options here. So here we have finance the Gulf of Tonkin pirate raids, and we can launch pirate raids on Shi here for 500. Or we can finance Xianbei barbarian raids against Jiang Meng. So if we just select that, confirm selection, it's going to cost us 500, and you get something like this, where it says, "My lord, I have returned from negotiations with the northern mercenaries. The value of gold transcends the barriers of language and culture. And so we have come to a mutually beneficial arrangement. Their warriors now travel south to raid and disrupt the vulnerable commanderies in this area. This is most fortuitous. And they are going to raid all the way over here, which is quite incredible for the Xianbei, who are all the way over here. to the north. Now, I'm not saying it's not possible, but they would have to go through a series of different nomadic tribes to get to them. Anyway, far be it from me to criticize the historical accuracy of a Total War game. Down here, we have our armies. Han Dang here with his cavalry. As you can see, it's not exactly excessive, but that doesn't matter because we have Chengpu over here with a really balanced force. I mean, kill these guys here. You don't need archers with Chengpu. Give him some proper soldiers. Let the archers go with our boy Zhang Hong here. But with Zhou Tai, Chengpu, Zhang Hong, you can smash Xu Jiao into oblivion, which will complete a Legacy of Wu ambition. And actually, if you move Han Dang up in support, you'll have 4 officers to defeat this area. Then you can start to push up to Guangling. Over here, we have a slightly imbalanced cavalry force that's quite a lot of fun. They don't really move fast enough for my liking, but as you can see, they nearly all have horses. There's only 2 units here that don't have horses. That just adds to the fun of it. We need to go and take out this boy, so that's exactly what we are going to do. As far as ancillaries again, we have an adept. I don't think we need an adept with this, but we may as well. Rank 2, I'm not sure exactly what things he's going to give us, but just in case we can get some cool things for him. And as far as recruitment goes, I think as we are in our own territory and as this is just simply a yeah, that'll do. As this is just a preview, we're just going to throw this stuff in here, and to make sure nobody leaves us, I'm going to throw some people into positions just to keep them happy. Just to keep them happy. I think the majority of them should be alright though. You. Juju, you're furious. Go in here. You're furious. I just don't want anyone to leave in the end turn. There we go, everyone else is loyal. Sorted. Very expensive. Don't take this as an actual way to play it. I just don't want my preview to be ruined by me losing a whole load of characters in the first turn. There are ways to balance this. Of course, I'm not doing any trade agreements or anything else like this, because I'm literally just going to beeline for the battle now. But, as you can see with this faction, it's very similar to how it would otherwise play out. You have a few minor issues that you need to deal with, but none of them are major. None of them at all are major. Alright, fine, he's running away, so let's go into his capital and smash him into oblivion. Right, I'll see you in the battle. Okay, here we are. This isn't going to be easy, just because we've got a cavalry army besieging, but it's not the first time that I've used cavalry to besiege a town. So I'm not super worried, not super concerned. You're my blokes with shields. You, because you're there. Do you have fire arrows? Yes, you do. That's what I was hoping. Bring you guys in. You two should also have fire arrows. Magnificent. Magnificent. Right. 1. Not you. 2. Burn. You. Loose formation. Burn it. Burn it, burn it, burn it, boys. So you can advance because you can actually fight. Just to speed this up a bit whilst we set fire to stuff. It's much easier when you have fire arrows. And that's the sole reason why I recruited those 2 units there. There we go. Up close, how are we doing? Come on, do better. You guys should get it up much faster. Come on, bit more. Another volley, please, boys. Come on. There we go. Now get that one. Right, that's up. Burn this one too. Burn it, burn it, burn it. Nicely done, boys. Then loose formation, advance please, because we want to lay into these guys. Don't think we need that anymore. Let's have shots on. That's up. Good. I think you guys can pull back just a touch, actually. Just a touch. Axes forward. You two can also come forward. Zhou Yu 2. Alright. Lads, form here. You two can form there. In you go. Seems like they're going to make this very, very easy for us. I've got some raider cavalry that, as soon as we've got some of these guys pinned down, we should be loosing them. Here, kill them. How are you doing, Sun Tzu? Flames of the Phoenix, please, my man. Sun Tzu has a tendency to go berserk at the worst time. He also has a tendency, because he's a vanguard, just to run away. But the two of them together should be more than enough. We can sling you up here as well. Axes, faster, boys, faster. Right. Is cavalry ready to go? There we go, we've broken them. Stay on them, lads. Stay on them. You, my man, chase, chase, chase. Right. How are we doing? Let's have you and you and you. Kill them. You two can advance up here as well. Kill, 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 kill. We are killing them spectacularly well. Charge forward, boys. Charge forward. Think, you can go there. You can go there. Zhou Yu, keep chasing. Keep chasing. Don't want you two there. You guys can certainly come across here if you don't mind. Ah, shit, he lost his horse. That's going to be a problem. Alright, you take that. And then you can move up here. Now this is the power of Sun Tzu, rank 6, and he's only rank 2. I think that's a little bit unfair. But against his militia, they've got no real officer in charge of them. It's all rather easy, I have to say, even on a very hard difficulty, which I'm on for this preview. So it's not exactly a tactical masterclass here, because it is just that simple. However, charge now, boys. Charge. You can come up here too. Go, 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 go. How are you doing, my man? Can you come over here and take that ground, please? Archers now moving into position. This is where we're going to start to lose casualties, because we need these archers to start raining death and destruction on these guys. Go on. Kill, 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 kill. Boys, you can run now. You can run. Zhou Yu, because even he can fight, is going to sit there. See, they run. They just run when he arrives. When you've got a vanguard, like with the right skills, you know, who's fearsome, or, you know, just something like that, you just break weaker troops. And these are archer militia. They don't stand a chance. They just don't stand a chance. You can chase them down. Sun Tzu, you're going to focus here, and we'll speed things up. Yeah, it's the same rules apply as when you have Guan Yu and Zhang Fei on the field. You break militia so quickly, so easily. It's just laughable when they try and stand against you. Got a complete victory here, and I don't think we really lost anyone apart from to the towers. So yeah, fantastic. So we smashed this place, we've taken Hua Xian's capital. We might be able to force him into vassalage very, very quickly. You never know if that's your thing. It's certainly how I like to play, because you get more boost to your economy that way in the short term, but you do get longer term problems like vassals betraying you. Lost Imperial favour there, which is why I'm showing the battles, because we attacked a Han faction. I don't know what it's like with with factions that are very, very against the Emperor. That may change things. I have a feeling it might, but I don't know the proof of that. Lot of people here that you can hire as well who come up, but I've had the same selection no matter which faction I've started as, apart from, of course, the Namman or the Yellow Turbans. So bear that in mind. For the first group, they're not that exciting. However, ladies and gentlemen, from this point onwards, like I said, move these guys to combine to get rid of Xu Jiao. Sun Tzu, speed and power. You need to take Poyang. Perhaps there's an argument for going for Poyang first before you take out Huaxin here. It really is up to you, but you can still win battles here. We'll get a -2 every time we change, so we can still punch through here and make it here in time. And then, of course, we've got Chubi up here and basically the whole of Changsha and Nan and the like that can be our targets too. So once we finish Huaxin, it's pretty straightforward. As far as peace goes, he's not really into it just yet, but if you beat his army, he will collapse and die quite quickly. On the old trade front, you've got your vassals to rely on, and perhaps even the Duchy of Wei, who could be relatively useful as a trading partner in the north. Certainly, my experience of playing the game is Cao Cao does quite badly as an AI against Yuan Shao. However, he doesn't have to, and he can hold for a good few years, and that trade agreement can net you some decent money because he does hold some good territory. But, ladies and gentlemen, that's where I'm going to leave it here for this preview. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, just before I go, remember there is always Southlands here, Wang Lang's former lands. He always expands into in previous patches that you can take too, because Wang Lang is now part of the Duchy of Wei. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.